South Carolina is a tapestry woven from tides, mountains, ancient cultures, and the remarkable resilience of its people. It is a place where rivers carve blackwater channels through cypress swamps, where Spanish moss sways above colonial sidewalks, and where barrier islands protect some of the most fragile ecosystems on the East Coast. You can drive from misty mountain overlooks to sun-soaked beaches in a single afternoon, passing through towns where Revolutionary War soldiers fought, where Gullah storytellers preserved African traditions, and where modern communities continue to grow faster than almost anywhere else in America. Beneath its charm lies complexity. South Carolina is one of the original 13 colonies, yet also one of the fastest-rising states of the 21st century. It is a cradle of American music, cuisine, folklore, and natural wonders. Every region, the upstate, the Midlands, and the Lowcountry, contains pieces of America's earliest chapters and hints of its future. Today, we're exploring 40 surprising, powerful, and unforgettable facts that reveal what makes the Palmetto State unlike any place else. This is a deeper look at the people, landscapes, wildlife, legends, foods, and history that forged South Carolina's identity. So settle in. This is Hidden Earth. Fact 1. A state that sparked a nation's turning point. On December 20th, 1860, South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union, triggering events that would lead to the Civil War. This decision was rooted in decades of political tension, economic debates, and the brutal realities of slavery. In Charleston, the Ordinance of Secession was signed in a hall that still stands today. Less than 4 months later, cannon fire at Fort Sumter turned national uncertainty into open conflict. This moment changed American history forever, and South Carolina remains central to understanding that era. Fact 2. The enduring legacy of the Gullah. Stretching along the coast from Charleston to Hilton Head lives one of the most important African-rooted cultures in the Western Hemisphere. The Gullah people, descended from enslaved West Africans brought to rice plantations. They preserved language, stories, crafts, and spiritual traditions that survived centuries of isolation on barrier islands. Sweetgrass basket weaving, praise house worship, rice-based cuisine, and folk tales like Br'er Rabbit all developed within this community. Today, the Gullah Cultural Heritage Corridor protects this living culture so it can continue to flourish for generations. Fact 3. America's oldest landscaped gardens. Middleton Place near Charleston holds the honor of being home to the oldest landscaped gardens in the United States. Designed in the early 1700s, the gardens follow classical European principles: symmetry, terraced lawns, reflective pools, and expansive views. Walking these pathways is like stepping into a living history book. The gardens have survived wars, hurricanes, and centuries of change, yet still bloom with camellias, azaleas, and magnolias planted generations ago. Fact 4. Sweetgrass baskets, a 300-year craft among the market stands of Charleston and Mount Pleasant. You'll find sweetgrass baskets, one of the oldest and most treasured African traditions in America. These coiled baskets are crafted using the same techniques brought from West Africa over 3 centuries ago. They are made from native materials like bulrush and palmetto fronds, and each design carries cultural meaning. Some baskets take weeks to complete and are considered museum-quality works of art. For many families, basket weaving is a sacred inheritance passed down through mothers, daughters, and grandmothers. Fact 5. South Carolina, the true peach giant. Georgia may be the peach state, but South Carolina regularly outproduces it. In fact, the upstate, especially Spartanburg and Cherokee counties, grows more peaches per acre than almost anywhere else in the United States. Warm days, cool nights, and sandy soil make the region ideal for this fruit. Each summer, Roadside stands overflow with varieties that rarely make it to grocery stores, giving locals a taste of peaches at peak freshness. Fact 6. Myrtle Beach, the golf capital of the world. With more than 90 golf courses, Myrtle Beach earns its global reputation as a golfer's paradise. Courses wind through forests, hug rivers, cut across marshlands, and sit beside the Atlantic Ocean. Designers like Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Robert Trent Jones crafted layouts that challenge newcomers and professionals alike. For many visitors, a trip to Myrtle Beach isn't complete without hitting at least one fairway. Fact 7. The Grand Strand's endless beaches. The Grand Strand stretches 60 miles along the Atlantic, forming one of America's longest continuous beaches. But it wasn't always a tourist hub. For centuries, the area was isolated marshland. Today, it attracts over 20 million people each year who come for soft sand, warm waters, and iconic attractions. Yet just beyond the hotels, sections of the coast remain wild, providing habitat for loggerhead sea turtles, ghost crabs, and migrating seabirds. Fact 8. The Angel Oak, a southern giant. On Johns Island stands the legendary Angel Oak, a live oak estimated to be 400 to 500 years old. Its branches twist outward and downward, some stretching more than 100 feet from the trunk. The tree shades nearly 17,000 square feet, more space than many homes. It has withstood hurricanes, flooding, and centuries of change, yet it continues to grow. Visitors often describe the tree as feeling alive in more ways than one, a symbol of time, endurance, and the stories held in its ancient limbs. Fact 9. The Blue Ridge Escarpment, where the mountains drop off. In the far northwest corner of South Carolina, the Blue Ridge Mountains descend dramatically into the Piedmont. This sharp drop is known as the Blue Ridge Escarpment, and it creates some of the most breathtaking scenery in the southeast. Waterfalls tumble down sheer rock faces, fog pools in deep valleys, and ridgelines rise above thick hardwood forests. Places like Caesar's Head and Table Rock offer panoramic views stretching for miles. These cliffs form a critical ecological boundary, helping generate the rainfall that feeds the state's major rivers. Fact 10. A hotspot for waterfalls. Over 150 in one region, Oconee County, part of the upstate, contains more than 150 waterfalls, one of the highest concentrations in the eastern United States. Some cascade gently through mossy ravines, while others plunge dramatically from mountain ledges. Popular falls like Issaquena, Whitewater, and Yellow Branch attract hikers, photographers, and nature lovers year-round. Many of these falls sit within protected forests, preserving habitats for salamanders, wildflowers, and rare plant species that thrive in cool, misty environments. Fact 11. Congaree National Park is America's tallest forest. Just outside Columbia sits Congaree National Park, home to the tallest trees on the East Coast and one of the last old-growth bottomland hardwood forests in the world. Towering loblolly pines reach heights over 160 feet, while colossal cypress trees grow wide, fluted trunks that rise from the dark floodplain. The forest floor transforms throughout the seasons, glowing green in spring, steaming under summer humidity, and turning golden under fall sunlight. The park also hosts synchronous fireflies each May, a rare natural event that draws visitors from around the globe. Fact 12. Columbia, the capital, is built in the center of the state. Columbia became South Carolina's capital in 1786, chosen intentionally for its central location. Early lawmakers wanted a capital accessible to both coastal elites and inland farmers. The city later played a key role during the Civil War and Reconstruction, enduring destruction, rebuilding, and evolution. Today, it is a blend of government institutions, universities, and neighborhoods filled with revitalized mills and historic homes. Its wide downtown streets were originally designed to reduce the spread of fires, a precaution rare for the 18th century. Fact 13. The University of South Carolina is a campus with 200 years of history. Founded in 1801, the University of South Carolina's Horseshoe, its original campus, remains one of the most beautiful collegiate spaces in the nation. Brick walkways curve beneath ancient oaks, connecting 19th-century buildings that witnessed the Civil War, integration, and centuries of academic growth. USC is also home to one of the world's largest Ernest Hemingway collections, preserving manuscripts, letters, and rare artifacts from the iconic writer's life. Fact 14. Fort Sumter, where the Civil War began. On April 12, 1861, Confederate artillery opened fire on Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, igniting the Civil War. The battle lasted 34 hours before Union forces surrendered the fort. Today, visitors can tour its remaining structures and learn about the people stationed there during one of the most consequential moments in American history. Despite heavy damage from war and hurricanes, portions of the original fort remain a stark reminder of the nation's turbulent past. Fact 15. Charleston, the historic city. Preserved in time, Charleston is often called America's most charming city, but its beauty is rooted in deep, and sometimes painful, history. Founded in 1670, it became one of the wealthiest cities in the colonies due to rice, indigo, and enslaved labor. Its pastel houses, cobblestone streets, and church steeples tell stories of colonial power, revolution, and cultural blending. Today, preservation laws protect much of the historic district, making Charleston one of the best preserved cities in the United States. Fact 16. Rainbow Row's colorful secret. Charleston's iconic Rainbow Row The stretch of pastel Georgian townhomes photographed by millions wasn't always so vibrant. In the 1930s and 40s, the homes were restored and painted bright colors to bring life back into a neglected area of the city. Some believe the color-coded designs helped merchants identify their shops before street numbers were common. Others simply enjoyed the Caribbean-inspired palette. Whatever its origin, Rainbow Row is now a symbol of Charleston's charm. Fact 17. The Battery and Waterfront Defenses. At the southern tip of Charleston lies the Battery, a seawall and promenade built to protect the city from storms and attacks. During the Civil War, cannons once lined this barrier, aimed toward Fort Sumter and the surrounding harbor. Today, families stroll beneath oak-lined sidewalks while waves crash against the stone wall. Across the harbor, Fort Sumter and Castle Pinckney stand as reminders of the city's strategic importance. Fact 18. South Carolina's haunted hotspot, the Old City Jail. Charleston's Old City Jail, built in 1802, is often named one of the most haunted buildings in America. Pirates, Civil War prisoners, and infamous criminals were once held within its cold stone walls. Visitors on nighttime tours report strange shadows, footsteps in empty corridors, and disembodied voices echoing from cells. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, the jail reflects centuries of justice, suffering, and mystery. Fact 19. The Palmetto Tree, a symbol with a story. South Carolina's beloved palmetto tree earned its place on the state flag thanks to the Revolutionary War. During the 1776 Battle of Sullivan's Island, a palmetto log fort absorbed British cannon fire because the soft, fibrous wood didn't splinter. It simply bounced the cannonballs away. This unlikely event helped secure an early American victory and cemented the palmetto as a symbol of resilience. Fact 20. Sullivan's Island, gateway of a tragic past. Sullivan's Island is one of the most important and sobering locations in African American history. Historians estimate that 40% of all enslaved Africans brought to North America entered through this island. It served as a quarantine and inspection point before people were sold in Charleston slave markets. Today, monuments and historical sites honor those who endured unimaginable suffering, transforming the island into a place of remembrance and reflection. Fact 21. The Gullah culture, a living legacy. Running along the coasts of South Carolina, Georgia, and northern Florida is one of America's most important cultural regions, the Gullah Corridor. In South Carolina, the Sea Islands became home to enslaved Africans who retained more of their ancestral languages, stories, crafts, and traditions than almost anywhere else in the United States. Isolation from the mainland helped preserve these cultural roots for generations. Today, Gullah communities keep alive traditions like sweetgrass basket weaving, spiritual hymns, oral storytelling, and distinctive cuisine. Their language, a Creole blend of English and African linguistic structures, remains a vibrant and living testament to survival and identity. Visiting places like St. Helena Island or the Penn Center offers a profound connection to this heritage. Fact 22. Sweetgrass baskets, an art form passed down for centuries. One of the most recognizable symbols of South Carolina craftsmanship is the sweetgrass basket. These baskets trace their origins to West African rice-growing cultures and have been woven in the Low Country for more than 300 years. Artisans, often from Gullah families, gather sweetgrass, pine needles, palmetto, and bulrush to craft intricate designs, some taking weeks to complete. Sweetgrass baskets have become so iconic that they are now displayed in museums around the world. The artisans who sell them in Charleston's city market continue a tradition passed down through countless generations. Fact 23. The Angel Oak, a tree older than America itself. On Johns Island stands one of the oldest living things east of the Mississippi. The Angel Oak, estimated to be 400 to 500 years old, or even older, according to some claims. The sprawling live oak stretches 65 feet into the air, with branches extending nearly 180 feet across. This ancient tree has survived storms, wars, droughts, and centuries of development. Its massive limbs bend and twist gracefully toward the ground, creating a natural cathedral of shade. The angel oak is more than a tree. It is a bridge to the deep ecological and human history of the Low Country. Fact 24. Myrtle Beach, one of America's most popular vacation spots. With more than 19 million visitors each year, Myrtle Beach stands as one of the most visited beach destinations in the United States. Spanning 60 miles of coastline known as the Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach blends family-friendly attractions with classic boardwalk entertainment. Visitors cycle along oceanfront paths, ride the Sky Wheel, surf warm Atlantic waves, and explore amusement parks and live shows. Yet just beyond the bright lights, quieter beaches and maritime forests offer natural escapes. Myrtle Beach's popularity exploded in the 1950s and 60s, and today it remains a staple of American coastal tourism. Fact 25. Golf capital of the world. South Carolina, and especially the Myrtle Beach region, is often called the golf capital of the world, with more than 350 courses across the state. Legendary designers like Jack Nicklaus, Robert Trent Jones, and Pete Dye left their mark on fairways that wind through marshes, forests, and oceanfront dunes. The annual influx of visiting golfers fuels a thriving tourism economy, and tournaments at places like Hilton Head's Harbor Town golf links draw global attention. Hilton Head itself is known for its carefully planned communities, pristine beaches, and dedication to environmental preservation. Fact 26. The Lowcountry Marshes, an ecosystem of gold. Stretching from Charleston to Beaufort and beyond, lies one of the most beautiful landscapes in the American South, the Lowcountry Salt Marsh. Twice daily, the tides transform this world of golden spartina grass, oyster beds, winding creeks, and distant tree lines. These marshes serve as nurseries for shrimp, fish, crabs, and countless bird species. At sunrise and sunset, the grasses glow with a warm, almost metallic light, creating some of the most atmospheric scenery along the East Coast. The Lowcountry Marsh is more than a backdrop. It's a vital part of South Carolina's identity. Fact 27. Beaufort. One of America's most beautiful small towns. Founded in 1711, Beaufort is often compared to places like Savannah or Charleston, but on a more intimate scale. Its moss-draped oak trees, quiet waterfronts, and historic homes make it a favorite for filmmakers and travelers alike. Movies such as Forrest Gump, The Big Chill, The Prince of Tides, and G.I. Jane all shot scenes here. Walking through Beaufort feels like stepping into a postcard, slow-paced, elegant, and full of low-country charm. Fact 28. Parris Island, birthplace of Marine Corps. Legends. Marine Corps Recruit Depot. Parris Island has trained Marines since 1915. Nearly every enlisted female Marine and a significant portion of male Marines begin their journey here. Recruits endure intense training across tidal flats, pine forests, obstacle courses, firing ranges, and parade grounds. Graduation ceremonies draw families from across the nation, celebrating new Marines who have completed one of the most demanding entry-level training programs in the military. Fact 29. South Carolina. Barbecue. The nation's most diverse BBQ state. South Carolina is the only state in America with 4 official barbecue sauces: mustard-based Carolina Gold, vinegar pepper, light tomato, heavy tomato. This diversity comes from centuries of cultural blending. German, African, and British influences shaped cooking traditions across different regions. Slow-smoked pork remains the cornerstone, cooked over hardwood coals until tender enough to fall apart. Barbecue in South Carolina isn't just food, it's identity, history, and local pride served on a plate. Fact 30. The Peach State. Actually, South Carolina produces more than Georgia. Despite Georgia's nickname, South Carolina often produces more peaches on a per-acre basis. The orchards of the upstate and Midlands fill roadside stands, and farmers' markets with juicy summer fruit. The small town of Gaffney is even home to the famous Peachoid, a 135-foot water tower shaped like a giant peach. It's a beloved landmark and occasionally a source of road trip laughter. Fact 31. Congaree National Park, a forest of giants. Hidden just outside Columbia is one of the least-known national parks in the U.S., Congaree National Park, home to some of the tallest trees east of the Rockies. The park protects one of the last old-growth bottomland hardwood forests in the world. Towering loblolly pines, sweet gums, and champion tupelos soar more than 160 feet into the sky, creating an emerald cathedral where sunlight filters through like stained glass. Floodwaters from the Congaree River periodically wash through the forest, delivering nutrients that fuel remarkable tree growth. This ecosystem is so unique that scientists often compare it to the redwood groves of California, only wetter, swampier, and buzzing with wildlife. Fact 32. Synchronized fireflies, a natural light show. Every spring, Congaree becomes the stage for a breathtaking phenomenon: synchronized fireflies. For roughly 2 weeks, millions of lightning bugs flash in unison, creating waves of shimmering light across the forest floor. Only a handful of places on Earth host this rare synchronized pattern. Researchers believe it's related to mating behavior, but the exact mechanism remains mysterious. Visitor demand has grown so high that the park now uses a lottery system each year for viewing access. Fact 33. Lake Murray, one of the largest lakes ever built. Completed in the 1930s, Lake Murray was once the largest man-made lake in the world by surface area. More than 100,000 acres of land were cleared, and entire towns were moved or submerged to make way for the reservoir. Today, Lake Murray is a major recreation hub for boating, fishing, and summer festivals. Beneath its surface lie old roads, bridges, and even the foundations of vanished communities, forming an eerie underwater ghost town known mostly to local divers and historians. Fact 34. The 1886 Charleston earthquake. On August the 31st, 1886, Charleston was struck by one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded on the East Coast, estimated at magnitude 7.0. The quake shook cities as far away as Chicago and destroyed or damaged thousands of buildings. Many historic structures in Charleston still wear the earthquake bolts and metal plates installed to stabilize walls after the disaster. The event remains a stark reminder that seismic activity is still a real, though rare, threat in the region. Fact 35. Fort Sumter is where the Civil War began, standing in Charleston Harbor. Fort Sumter is one of America's most significant historic sites, the place where the first shots of the Civil War were fired on April 12, 1861. The Confederate bombardment lasted 34 hours. The fort eventually fell, but its ruins remain preserved today. Visitors can tour the island fort, walk among the original brick walls, and see cannons that once thundered across the harbor. Its presence is a solemn reminder of the conflict that shaped American identity. Fact 36. Blackbeard's hostage crisis. In 1718, the infamous pirate Blackbeard blockaded Charleston Harbor for nearly a week, capturing ships and holding the entire port city hostage. His demand was simple: a chest of medical supplies. Terrified officials eventually complied. Only then did Blackbeard release his prisoners and sail away. The incident is one of the boldest acts of piracy in early American history, and Charleston never forgot it. Stories still echo in local folklore. Fact 37. Charleston's Rainbow Row, a story of renewal. The famous pastel-colored homes of Rainbow Row are among the most photographed buildings in the South, but the colorful appearance wasn't always there. During the early 1900s, the area had fallen into decay. Restoration efforts in the 1930s and 40s revived the buildings, and homeowners began painting them soft, coastal colors to brighten the historic district. Some legends say the colors helped sailors identify their homes. Others claim it helped reflect sunlight and keep interiors cooler. Whatever the reason, Rainbow Row became a symbol of Charleston's cultural revival. Fact 38. South of the border, a roadside icon. Located near the North Carolina border along I-95, south of the border is one of the strangest and most recognizable roadside attractions in America. With neon lights, quirky billboards, giant statues, and a faux Mexican theme, it has entertained travelers since the 1940s. Some stop for nostalgia, others for curiosity, but nearly everyone remembers it. It's a testament to an era when roadside attractions ruled American highways. Fact 39. The Edisto Mystery Tree. Deep on Edisto Island stands a single tree that is mysteriously decorated all year long. One month it may be covered in Christmas ornaments, another month in seashells, rubber ducks, or random trinkets. No one publicly claims responsibility for the decorations, turning the tree into a beloved, quirky symbol of local creativity. Tourists seek it out, but locals treat it with quiet affection, an unspoken agreement to let the mystery stay alive. Fact 40. The Legend of the Lizard Man. South Carolina's most famous cryptid, the Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp, was first reported in 1988 by a teenager who claimed a reptilian creature attacked his car. News spread quickly, spawning investigations, eyewitness accounts, and even commemorative festivals. Whether it's folklore, mice identification, or something stranger, the Lizard Man has cemented himself as a true piece of South Carolina mythology. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 40 fascinating facts about South Carolina. From towering live oaks to synchronized fireflies, from sweet tea and barbecue to legends like the Lizard Man, the Palmetto State is a place where history, culture, and nature intertwine. If you enjoyed uncovering South Carolina's hidden layers, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which state, city, or country you want Hidden Earth to explore next, and together, we'll continue discovering the world's hidden stories. Remember, every place has secrets, every land has a story, and Hidden Earth is here to bring them to light. Keep exploring, and keep connecting with the history, culture, and nature that make every destination unforgettable.